Test, yo. I think it's coming through. Yeah, it is. Test, yo. Alright. Let's do this, YouTube. Man, I do not like YouTube. And I do not like Twitter, for that matter. It'll be so much better once Elon takes over. I'm hoping. But at this rate, what have we got to look forward to? Let's have a look, eh? Now I want to start off by playing this. I'm pretty sure everyone's heard this one, but if you haven't, this is going on in the world today.
If you don't get vaccinated, you're antisocial. This is what the Dutch Prime Minister and Health Minister told us. You don't get vaccinated just for yourself, but also for others. You do it for all of society. That's what I said. Today, this turned out to be complete nonsense. In a COVID hearing in the European Parliament, one of the Pfizer directors just admitted to me, at the time of introduction, the vaccine had never been tested on stopping the transmission of the virus. This removes the entire legal basis for the COVID passport. The COVID passport that led to massive institutional discrimination as people lost access to essential parts of society. I find this to be shocking, even criminal. Please watch the video until the end.
Voor u, mevrouw Small, heb ik de volgende vraag waar ik een duidelijk antwoord op wil. And I will speak in English so there are no misunderstandings. Was the Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market? If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Regarding the question around, did we know about stopping immunisation before it's entered the market? No. We had to really move at the speed of
We had to really move at the speed of science, but, general quality testings or claims, who cares about them? Let's just say that a vaccination can stop the transmission.
science to really understand what is taking place in the market.
This is scandalous. Millions of people worldwide felt forced to get vaccinated because of the myth that you do it for others. Now this turned out to be a cheap lie. This should be exposed. Please share this video.
I hope everyone is aware that took place, Trying to think which way to approach this. So I thought I would cover the main geopolitical events, which may or may not affect the economy, which may or may not affect your holdings as a cryptocurrency holder, I'm assuming. Because we can see how things are connected. We can see how events could affect general markets. Have a look at COVID and what effect that had on policy, the freedom of movement, the freedom of speech on various platforms, and have a look how the helicopter money, how it was used, and to this day, how it's still being repaid. So what could this do? I like to check Drudge Report every now and then, and it tends to have its own, narrative. You can see front page, sometimes I've got a red siren, basically saying jury, Alex Jones damages $1 billion US and more to come. And then another article, another link, InfoWars not going away. So we'll have a look at that. But before we look at that, let's have a look at some other links. Now down the side here, we got Janet Yellen worried about adequate liquidity in treasuries. Does that mean they're possibly planning on more bond purchases? more quantitative easing. Now, we've seen the Bank of England come out and said they're going to make some purchases. I think it was about 10 billion up until October the 14th to help with keeping afloat the economy, because if they were to pull all those purchases, it's apparently the pension funds would collapse and be crushed. And that's not a good thing. But what's also not a good thing is the long, prolonged propping up of an economy that is built on sand. And this constant infinite printing is just not going to help. It's not helping at all. In 2008, when the GFC hit and Lehman Brothers collapsed because of the mortgages debacle, that should have been allowed to fail, but instead it was propped up. And this is the flow-on effect of that particular event. It's now 2022 and we're still feeling the effects of 2008. That is insane. That is just insane. Basically, concerns about potential breakdown of trading US treasuries leads up an effort to shore up that crucial market. So possibly, maybe there is a small purchase similar to the Bank of England. I think France, one of their agencies over there, did something similar. Now, we have the economy is not looking too good. I know, you already know this. I'm sure you do. We got Wall Street's fear gauge is flashing, a warning that stocks could be about to fall off a cliff. So they haven't already yet. And at the moment, it appears cryptocurrency is related to equities, risk on assets and all. And bonds are actually possibly one of the best performing assets to hold. So you can see where this is going. I don't know when it's going to actually happen. I don't know how long and how deep it's going to be for, but the question is that you're probably wondering as a cryptocurrency holder, how is this going to affect me? Because we were all told for the longest that Bitcoin was brought about, by the cypherpunk movement, was brought about because of 2008 maybe, and the incompetence of the legacy financial system, and maybe it was released as a counter to the existing legacy system. Now, I don't know, because I was not around at that time. I discovered Bitcoin around 2011. It was through a Max Kaiser article in an Invest Smart magazine here in Australia called Digital Currencies. At the time, I think it was maybe $10. But yeah, it is definitely not going anywhere. Cryptocurrency has been co-opted by mainstream legacy finance, and now we see a large market for derivatives, options, leverage trading, and exchanges. So they're now able to benefit from the thing that was designed to bring about the downfall of the thing it was designed to do. Right. I'm sure that was the ultimate plan for Bitcoin. But it's basically saying, here's why this could signal more pain for stocks ahead, just in case we didn't already realize the economy is wrecked. So switching gears here, I thought you could almost make a show about the top 10 searches. Top 10, I'm not even sure if this is Australia based or what. It might be Australia. These might be the Australian ones. Look, based on my location. Got Barcelona and Inter. Tottenham versus Eintracht Frankfurt. I probably butchered that. And number 3, Alex Jones, the mad conspiracy man, who must be censored and silenced off the internet further, even further than being banned off every single platform. Even further. Anyway, yeah. You see where I'm going there. Maybe as a cryptocurrency community, if we wanted to reach some other people, maybe we would reach out to the Barcelona and Inter crowd. Maybe we could reach the Tottenham and Eintracht Frankfurt crowd. Maybe we could reach out to the people who want to crush Alex Jones, or maybe we could reach out to the people who support Alex Jones. I don't know. But apparently they're the top 3 searches in Australia today. Now, we've got, if you actually search Alex Jones and contribute to the Google Trends, we can see there's a fair bit of news going on. Do I really want to read these ones out? Well, the stream's still going, so that is a good thing. It hasn't been cancelled yet. I've so far said COVID, I've said Alex Jones, and I've said Armageddon. But yeah, that is what is coming. Massive censorship. And before I continue on with that analysis regarding what could bring about, what would make it easier to crush Alex Jones and InfoWars, what would make it easier for any government in the world to act more like the Chinese Communist Party regime? I'll play this particular video. Now, I might get a bit emotional when I hear this because it hits pretty close to home.
The community that faced the most restrictions on their freedoms in the last year were those who made a choice not to be vaccinated. I don't think I've ever experienced a situation in my lifetime where a person was fired from their job, or not allowed to watch their kids play hockey, or not allowed to go visit a loved one in long-term care or hospital, or not allowed to go get on a plane to either go across the country to see family or even travel across the border. So they have been the most discriminated against group that I've ever witnessed in my lifetime. That's a pretty extreme level of discrimination that we have seen. I don't take away any of the discrimination that I've seen in those other groups that you mentioned, but this has been an extraordinary time in the last year in particular. And I want people to know that I find that unacceptable, that we are not going to create a segregated society on the basis of a medical choice. The community that faced...
But yeah, so that is what took place. And it only took, 2 years to realize that we actually created a tyrannical government based on medical misinformation. That you could say that they tried their best and they thought they were doing the right thing. But what ultimately they did do led to the vaccination passports. It led to the lockdown of supply lines, lockdowns of travel. And now we're realizing the death rate was what? We're now realizing that our freedoms went where? We're now realizing what we as a species allowed a governing body to do to us all. We willingly gave up our freedoms because we were scared shitless, because the narrative kept telling us, if you're not vaccinated, you specifically, the individual, will spread this disease. And yeah, we can see the life-changing events, the timeline-altering events, which allowed for our current future to exist in the way it does because of the way we all reacted. We allowed this to happen. Thank God for those Canadian truckers. And remember, if you supported them, if you sent cryptocurrency to them, even you put on some list, you get censored, you get shut down, you get cancelled. That's insanity. So just imagine moving back to the Google Trends, moving back to the Alex Jones news. Imagine if there was a form of central bank digital currency in place. What would that do for the freedoms, Will it allow for more freedoms to exist, or will it allow for people to not earn a living? Will it allow for people, if they don't agree with what they're saying, to hold bank accounts? Will it enable controlling entities to, as we saw with Tornado Cash, cancel wallet addresses? Now, your wallet address might be your social security number. It might be your tax file number here in Australia. Could be anything. Anything tied to you could be blacklisted and cancelled. Is that a future we want to live in? That's insanity. What's the opposition to this? If no one's building any freedom, we literally have to build our freedom. If no one's going to build it, we're going to let the people who put us under lockdowns give us our freedom? I don't think that's the way that things like cryptocurrency where was I? I don't think that was the plan that Satoshi had for cryptocurrency, to provide people freedoms. You know? Bitcoin's still around, although it appears to be co-opted by the larger players in the space. And I'm just not sure where this is all going, because cryptocurrency has been allowed to run, and if they want, they might start screwing the screws on us all, and shutting down entry exit points and who knows what. But yeah, it's above my pay grade, especially this one. This is insane. The damage Alex Jones, this is by Jen Paskey. The damage Alex Jones has done to the lives of these families is horrific. Nearly $1 billion doesn't solve their pain, but also true that the end of InfoWars would be a public service. So the end of someone's ability to question literally the mainstream media's entire business model should be shut down. That sounds pretty tyrannical from that point of view. It sounds as if you do not toe the line with the mainstream media, and you do not want to believe every single thing that was told to you by them, because at times they're not sure, as we saw with the pandemic that is ended. We literally let people dictate to us whether we could or could not leave the house. We were given a 5k radius travel distance. There was police put on the state borders to stop you from moving about unless you had a reason. That sounds awfully like a prison planet to me. Now, 20 years ago, if someone had told this to you, they would have said, you are absolutely insane. Put your tinfoil hat back on and get the fuck out of here. 20 years later, when it's actually happening, some people, those people across the board, are being censored. So anyone listening to this, or that particular questioning of the mainstream, would land you potentially in the censored basket. So hopefully there's something out there beyond the existing cryptocurrencies that is going to help save us. I myself am glad I sacrifice for free speech, for the freedom of movement. Here in Australia, we still have political free speech for now, unless you use a platform and they decide to ban you. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. That is about it. But I can't help but think more is coming. In terms of people being shut down, if you say the wrong thing on YouTube, if you say the wrong thing on a platform, you will be censored into oblivion. You know? I think I found Hex for a reason. I'm not sure what it was yet. It did provide some financial freedom, which would have taken years and years and years to achieve had I not found it. With Pulse Chain coming and a fork of the Ethereum state, God forbid Ethereum turns on us all and decides to run down this World Economic Forum central bank digital currency business model, or some sort of, you know, tyrannical means to control the masses. Alright, my dog is barking, I'm gonna go. Peace all.